Today we are going to finish the story of Sonia Sotomayor. Yesterday we left off. Sonia had just graduated high school and she was off to Princeton. During her first week, she heard a cricket in her dorm room and it scared her. What was this strange insect? As it turns out, it wasn't in her room but on a tree outside of her window. Growing up in the projects, Sonia never had a tree outside her window. So remember, Sonia grew up in an apartment building with many other people who didn't have a lot of money. And so there were not trees growing around her apartment building. And growing up in the projects, Sonia never had the sorts of luxuries her classmates took for granted. Most of the Princeton kids had grown up taking tennis lessons and vacationing in Europe. They went skiing over Christmas break. Many of their parents and grandparents had gone to Princeton too. Suddenly, Sonia was aware of being poor, of being Latina, of feeling inferior. Where was the warm, comfy blanket of her family? Oh, how she missed them. So Sonia is realizing that at her university, most of the students who attend there came from families that had more money growing up than she did, and she doesn't feel a part of their life. There probably is not many other Latina students attending the school, Puerto Rican backgrounds, those types of foods and the music, and she's feeling out of place. In similar shoes, some people may have gone back home, but Sonia was like a flowering vine that would not stop growing. She would not just survive this strange new world, she would thrive. She would spend her first summer break reading all the books she'd never have time to read before to make herself even smarter. So Sonia is not giving up. She would become the head of a club for the handful of Latino students at Princeton. She would push herself to her limits, studying day and night, night and day at the library, and graduate with the highest honors of any student in her class. Success comes to those who make the most of the chances they are offered in life. Sonia did become a judge, and a good judge, too. She was known for working very hard and always being very prepared for every trial. She was also known for having no patience for lawyers who weren't prepared. You better not mess with Judge Sonia. Yet, she was known for much more than this. So Sonia graduates Princeton with high honors, and she does become the judge. And she is a tough judge because she has no patience when people arrive in her courtroom that are not prepared, because she knows how much time it takes to prepare, because she's done that exact thing herself to get where she's at. Unlike many judges, she had grown up in poverty. She had grown up as a New Yorican, a child of Puerto Rican parents. She had seen things most other judges had not. People she'd grown up with had gone to jail. People she'd grown up with were poor, and many of them weren't as lucky as she had been. They'd had trouble learning to speak English, trouble finding jobs. Unlike many judges, she knew firsthand what prejudice was, what it was to be judged for your background. In the world of judges, this made Sonia very special. So this is an image of Sonia's neighborhood where she grew up, and she's describing that compared to other judges, she knows what it's like to live and grow up poor. And unfortunately, in poor communities, there is more crime. There is more people that get in trouble with the law, that make bad choices. And so she's saying she's seen this before, and she's also experienced discrimination. And we've talked about that earlier this year, about what it means to be discriminated against, to be judged poorly based on the way you look, the color of your skin, the way your hair looks, those kinds of things. And she's saying she's experienced all of this, and she uses those experiences while she's in the courtroom. Oh, but Sonia, the very special judge, did not stop there. No, no, no. You see, Sonia was offered the chance of a lifetime. She was invited to the White House by none other than President Barack Obama, because President Obama had decided to nominate Sonia to the best job a judge could possibly have, to be a Supreme Court justice. Justice is a fancy word for a judge. The Supreme Court is the highest court in the nation. Supreme Court decisions help shape the law of the land. This was huge. There had never been a Latin American on the Supreme Court. How strange this was. There are so many people of Mexican, Puerto Rican, Dominican, and Cuban descent adding color to the great garden that is America. Why shouldn't all these people have someone who understands their lives on the Supreme Court? She was one of the most respected judges in the country. She was the perfect choice. So, when Sonia grows up, Barack Obama, the president at the time, he invites her, nominates her to be a Supreme Court judge, which is the highest court in the United States. And this is an image from Washington, D.C. This was an honor beyond anything Sonia and all her beautiful flowering had ever imagined. But as the announcement ceremony, Sonia spoke about her mother rather than herself. I have often said that I am all I am because of her, and I am only half the woman she is. Then, speaking straight to her mother in the audience, she said, I thank you for all that you had given me and continue to give me. Her mother cried and cried. This was her daughter. It wasn't over yet. There were some bumps on the path to the Supreme Court, a broken ankle, which didn't slow her down one bit, and angry people calling Sonia names like racist just because she was proud to be a Latina judge and not ashamed to say it. So, even though she's been nominated for the Supreme Court, she is still facing troubles, but she doesn't give up. But this did not stop her. Whoops, let's go back to this side. And days of tough questions from a panel of 19 senators, a few white faces, most of them male. So in our government, it is still the case that most people who lead our country, most people that are serving in Congress and the Senate are male and also white. But this didn't stop her. Nothing could stop Sonia, the dynamo from the Bronx, from making history as the nation's first Latin American Supreme Court justice. Ah, bendito, you never know what can happen, especially when you water a flower. So in our story, it says a judge blossoms, and this is Sonia. Do you see those flowers? Do you remember them at the beginning of the story? They were growing along the fence in the apartments that Sonia grew up with. So this is a story of how not only the flower blossoms, but how Sonia blossomed into the person she is today. I will leave this page up for a few moments. Let's see. Sotomayor was born in 1954 in South Bronx. When she was only 3 years old, her family moved from a tenement building to the Bronxdale houses. Sonia's family did not have a lot of money, but she was fortunate that her cousins and uncles and aunts back in Puerto Rico, and she visited them every summer. She attended good schools, and her mother worked very hard to send her there. Let's see. I'll leave this page open if your parents want to read it to you. It's a little bit more of a biography about Sonia's life. All right, boys and girls, today is Friday, and I have sent information to your families about how to join Miss Amarine's dance party today at 12:30, so hopefully you can attend that. And then next week, Mariemont Elementary School is having a Spirit Week, and I'll send more information to your families about that too. But on Monday, it's Crazy Hair and Crazy Sock Day, so have your family take a picture of you and post it on our Shutterfly site so everyone can see your crazy hair and crazy socks, okay? And let's see, I'm making your book right now, and this is what I have so far. The most important thing that has happened to me today, and it looks like I have 5 kids that have submitted their answers. So if you submit it to me by Sunday, I'll put the book together and I'll post it so everyone can see what the most important thing is that's happened to them. And you can read your classmates. Okay, everybody? All right, have a great Friday. Enjoy the sunshine and don't forget to read a book. All right, I miss you. Bye.